Yay, yay. All right, so we're back and please be happy. And I did mention this in the social post, but I don't know if it means we are 50% done with the game or 50% done with everything.
Okay.
Because it says 49% completed, but I
Ooh.
don't know what that entails.
Okay.
But let's go ahead and jump on in. If I recall correctly, we were on the map choosing our next location.
Yes,
Yep.
which is we get spend time with
Yeah,
Tommy.
but well, it's only the locations. It's the only one we can go to. So I guess we go to Tommy.
Yep.
Okay. Even though I'm preoccupied with thinking about magic, the morning goes by without any trouble. The library isn't very busy, so I finish my tasks quickly and then work on reading and writing. When I hear the door open, I don't look up. Just call out a greeting because I'm halfway through a worksheet. But then, something floats to the edge of my vision to get my attention.
Kirby?
The familiar fable twirls in recognition. Of course, Tommy's with him on the other side of the desk, but I don't see Gwen or Elijah.
Hi, me. Hey there. What's up?
Oh, me.
I'm looking for a
That's a cute
super
nickname.
special book. Do you want to help me find it? Here in the library? I haven't seen any weird bugs. Nah, it's not in here. It's in the woods. It's a special butterfly where if you touch it, you turn into a butterfly too.
Uh, Tommy, maybe we shouldn't touch said butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy flaps his arms, imagining what it'd be like to have wings.
I kind of like how I am already. Where's your mom at, though?
He frowns.
She's at her house. I told her I was gonna go, but I don't think she heard me.
Knowing Gwen, once she realizes Tommy's missing, she'll go on a panic looking for him. I doubt I could just make him go home, though. Guess that means I have to keep an eye on him.
Alright, I'll go with you. But I'm not gonna touch it if we find it. Okay, yay! Did you hear that, Kirby? Me's gonna come with us!
Garby flaps his petals just like Tommy flapped his arms. I put away my things and then follow Tommy out the door. Before I go, I send a quick message to Gwen to tell her that Tommy's with me. Be like, hey, I got your son. It's fine. Did not kidnap him. Eventually, we reach Mount Victoria. It takes a lot longer walking with Tommy than it would take me on my own.
So, how do we find this thing? We just have to look for it. It's got bright purple wings like Kirby, so it should be easy to spot.
I let him lead me around the area, while he checks all the flowers and plants that he can. We can see all sorts of other bugs, but not the one we're looking for. Keep half an eye out for the butterfly, but also watch to make sure Tommy doesn't touch something poisonous or bitey by accident. While we're wandering around, I notice that the area we're in is kind of familiar. Gives me an idea.
Hey, Tommy. Wanna see something neat? Is it a bug? Nope. Okay, I
Kind of
guess.
traumatize this child with my transformation powers.
Mm.
It's just a short walk to my den. The condition isn't great, and I have to tidy it up a bit just so it's recognizable.
What is this? It's my den. It's where I lived when I first came here. Whoa.
Give me 1 second. Not the goose, it's just regular birds.
Okay.
I'm back.
Hey, welcome back.
Both Tommy and Gerby inspect my handiwork.
It used to be a lot nicer. Now it's kind of beat up. I bet I could still fit in there. Yeah, probably.
Tommy pokes around the entrance for a little bit, clearing away some of the leaves and other stuff that's blocking it.
Do you like your new home more? At the library? Oh, yeah. My old house was better, where I lived with Mom and Dad. Dad still lives there, but now Mom has a different place where she lives. I have to go there sometimes. You don't like it? I don't want to have two homes. I just want one with all of us. Me, Mom, Dad, and Gerby. Come on, I don't see any butterflies here.
We start walking again, but I don't let us get too far from the main path. Tommy and Gerby are still looking around for the butterfly, but I can tell Tommy's heart isn't in it quite as much. I don't have any experience with any of the issues Tommy's dealing with, or the rest of his family, but I feel like I should at least say something.
You know, I'm kind of jealous. Why? Because your parents let you have two homes. I spent a long time not even having one home. I don't really count places like my den. That was just a place to stay. Until I moved into the library. I didn't have somewhere better. But you get to have two! What about your parents? I don't have any. Not the same way you do.
My parents were just foxes, and I barely remember them or even think about them that much.
Even if they don't live in the same place, they both still love you lots, right? I guess.
I'm not sure if anything I'm saying is helpful. I don't even know how to help Tommy, but I am being honest at least. What he has for a family still seems pretty good, even if it's not perfect. In the end, we don't end up finding the magical butterfly. While we're still out looking around, my phone rings. Of course it's Gwen. I tell her where we are, and she promises to be here soon. When she finally meets up with us, she doesn't even scold Tommy for running off. Just gives him a hug and thanks me. As I go off back to her house, I reflect on what I said. Being a human is tougher than I used to think it was. What Tommy and his family are going through isn't something I can relate to. But I get the feeling that Tommy is trying in his own way just like Gwen and Elijah are. Whatever it takes, I hope they're able to figure things out together. I'm not surprised when Aspen doesn't show up for breakfast. Before I fell asleep, she mentioned that she was feeling nervous about her meeting, expected to be up for a while, and that she'd probably sleep in. I offered to stay up with her, but she declined, saying she'd rather use the time to prepare. Her spot at the table is conspicuously empty as Juliet and I eat together, but I'm sure she'll show up eventually. I keep an eye out for my phone on any messages from her, even as Juliet and I clean up and start our days, but I don't hear anything from Aspen. The library gradually gets livelier, and I have my hands full of restocking shelves and filling out papers. Finally, some familiar faces arrive, though Aspen's isn't one of them.
Be careful. If you drop it, we'll have to start all over.
I'm not going to drop it. You carry it if you're so worried.
I can carry it if you'd like, Pippa.
It's fine.
I can hear the three kids before I can see them. Their voice only getting louder when Armand pushes the front door open and holds it for the other two. Cello enters first, followed by Pippa, who has arms wrapped tightly around a box. They've come in every day since we visited the Bell House, but Pippa and Armand still remember me. I didn't explain my magic to them, they just chose to work up here.
Good morning, Miss
Cello can't help but yawn as she greets me.
Morning. Wow, you guys look exhausted.
Ugh. We are.
Cello and I stayed up all night finishing our project. Armand was only awake for like half of it.
You wouldn't let me touch the models, so why should I have to stay up?
You two, please.
Even Cello seems too tired to put up with her friends bickering today. They both huff, but stop arguing.
It was a long night, but we managed to get done. Since we're going back home tomorrow, we wanted to come show you and Ms. Aspen the final version.
My girlfriend's really busy right now.
At the Bell House.
And a lot of free refills.
Oh, bless her. Of course she did.
Ms. Aspen was super nice to us. Is she around? Nope. I haven't seen her yet today. I think she had a late night too. I'll try calling her.
I'm going to go put this down somewhere.
Good idea.
All three of them go to find a table where they can sit up, and I pull up my phone to give Aspen a call. It rings for a long time. I'm about to hang up when I finally hear the line click.
Hello?
Oh no!
Oh no.
Her voice is so groggy that she was clearly still asleep.
Hi, Aspen. Sorry to wake you up.
Miho? It's fine. Why are you calling so early, though?
No.
Early? It's almost lunchtime.
Huh?
There's a rustling sound, and then I can hear her groan.
Oh, I was up so late last night.
I remember. Did you get a lot done?
I got a lot of worrying done, at least. That's about it. But I'll be ready for this evening. I didn't mean to sleep through breakfast.
It's alright.
Okay, I thought her appointment was gonna be like in the morning, and she had missed it.
Yeah, I thought so. Whew.
But if you're too tired, I can just send you a picture or something.
No, it's alright. I'll come over. I just need a bit to get ready.
Okay. See you soon then.
See you.
I hang up and then go let the students know what's going on. They wander around the library to entertain themselves while we wait. Finally, the library door opens and Aspen enters, still looking half asleep. She managed to stumble in my direction, and I greet her with a big hug.
Good morning. Actually, good afternoon.
Don't remind me. I'm glad to see you, though.
Same.
Miss Aspen, over here.
From the chosen spot, the three kids wave at Aspen.
Miss Aspen makes me sound so old.
Your pigeon agrees with that.
I was gonna say, like, I was about to speak, and just Fezzik is just so loud. It's not even Fezzik. Who is this? Inigo? It is you. Alright. I just, like, roll my chair, and he just looks through me through the cage.
Of course. Aww.
She grumbles quietly enough that only I can hear her, but she puts on a smile as we go over the table.
Thank you for coming to see us. Were you up late working too?
Something like that, yes. But not as hard as you were, it seems. Congratulations on finishing your project.
Despite her exhaustion, Aspen manages to use her customer service voice and seems genuinely excited for them.
Thanks.
Me and Cello worked really hard on it. I guess Armand helped too.
It was something the three of us all made together. But we wouldn't have been able to do that without visiting the Bell House.
I'm very excited to see. Is it in the box?
Pippa nods. Armand reaches for it, but Pippa pulls the box out of his way.
Here we go.
She carefully unfolds the flaps and reaches in, lifting out the project. Both Aspen and I gasp as we see it. The tiny version of the Bell House, about the size of a shoebox. The walls look like they're made out of cardboard or some other material, and the tables and chairs inside are made of clay. Even the stretch of road outside the cafe is included, the benches and flags and everything else. The smell of fresh paint emanates from the display, along with glue and other craft supplies.
It's incredible. Wow.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Thanks.
Although Pippa sounds gruff as always, I can see her blush before she tries to hide her face. Aspen kneels down to get a better look, inspecting all the little details.
You even got the bell above the door. How cute.
It wouldn't be the Bell House without a bell.
The plants, too. Great job, everybody.
Cello and Armand beam at the praise, and even Pippa manages a small smile.
Thanks for letting us spend time there.
And for all the coffee.
That's really all they care about.
Of course.
Well,
I remember
well,
the
that
stress of
particular kid
homework
anyway.
and group projects
Arma
very
knows what's
well.
up.
At least your group actually works together instead of leaving it all for one person.
That's
Oof.
right.
Cello hastily answers, shooting Pippa a look before she can try to challenge it.
Thank you as well, Ms. Miho. We would have never found out about the Bell House if you didn't take us there. No prob. I'll take any excuse I can to go there.
It's true. I speak from experience.
Hey, you're one of those excuses too.
Oh, I'm the excuse, am I? So it's the free drinks you're really visiting for.
Only sometimes. Sometimes you still make me pay.
Sounds like it should be always from here on out.
We both stare at each other for a second before slipping into laughter. It manages to push some of the tiredness out of Aspen's eyes. Oh, hello, Static. Welcome in. Hope you have a good day at work. We chat with the kids for a while longer, swapping stories about Wellington and a marina? I don't recognize that word.
La Marina.
Until finally, it's time for them to pack up and get going. Aspen helps Pippa carefully return their project to its box and close it up. Then all 5 of us head outside.
Thanks again for all your help.
Yeah, it was really nice meeting you. I hope we can come back to Wellington again sometime.
Me too.
It's bittersweet to think that after this time tomorrow, those 2 will have forgotten about me. I'm glad they'll remember Aspen, though, and the Bell House, of course.
Yes. I wish we could stay longer, but I also miss home. It's kind of funny. I wasn't sure if I'd miss San Marino or not before we left, but now I
Okay, that's where they came from. Gotcha.
Funny how fast that happens, right? Yes.
Take care, all of you. You're always welcome at the Bell House again.
We'll definitely come back if we can.
Her 2 friends nod. Armand steps down to pick up the box, and I notice Pippa tense up, but she doesn't stop him.
Be careful.
I will.
Okay. Time to go. Goodbye, and thank you again.
Goodbye.
Bye.
With a final wave, we see them off until they've gone down the path and disappeared from sight. Once they're gone, Aspen slouches, sighing and yawning.
That was nice. I hope they get a good grade on their project.
They better. It looks really good. Are you gonna be alright, though? You seem like you're about to fall over.
I'm fine. It was nice to have the distraction for a bit. Now all I have left to do is wait for this evening.
Wanna go in? Or are you gonna wait at home?
I'd rather wait with you, if that's okay.
Of course. I was hoping you'd say that.
Aspen holds out her hand and I take it. Together we step back into the library and wait for the appointed hour to arrive. Alright, I'll let you go from here.
Okay. I sit on a bench with a book in my lap, pretending to read. In reality, I'm not even trying. I'm watching the plaza across from me, where Aspen sits at a table alone. I offered to sit with her, but she declined, saying that this is something she needed to do alone. Still, she knows I'm watching, even if I'm too far to hear. Pulling my phone out of my pocket, I slowly type a message wishing Aspen good luck and send it. From a distance, I see a check her phone, and an instant later receive a few heart emojis in response. Aww. Just then, a stranger approaches her, and the 2 of them talk for a second before Aspen jumps up to shake their hand. Then they both sit down, and Aspen scoots her chair in closer. They chat for a long while, enough for the waitress to come out and refill their drink several times. From what I can tell, it looks like the agent is doing most of the talking and Aspen is mostly listening. Even from behind, I can tell when she's saying something because of the way she sits up, starts to move around animatedly. After a while, the agent opens their briefcase and passes some papers to Aspen, who stares at them. The agent stands, and for a few seconds later, Aspen does too. They shake hands a second time before the agent pays the bill and leaves, Aspen lingering at the table. When a couple more minutes pass by, she still doesn't move. I get up to go to her instead.
Hey, you.
Startled, Aspen looks around before looking up to see me.
Oh, Miho! Sorry to keep you waiting. I was just...
It's alright. I don't mind. How'd it go?
The fact that I have to ask means I already know the answer. If it has gone as hoped, I'm sure Aspen will be out of his seat jumping for joy.
It went... fine, I think.
You think?
Yeah. Shall we head back to the library? It's rather hot, isn't it?
Sure. Let's go.
is not hot at all. In fact, it's downright pleasant. But I'm sure that's not the real reason she wants to get out of here. Oh no. I lead the way, and although Aspen never lets go of my hand, she doesn't say anything either. The library still has a few guests in it when we get there, but we pass them by and head to the dining room instead, only to find it's already occupied.
Oh, hello.
Juliet has papers of her own spread out on the table, but she sweeps them together and tucks them away as she greets us.
Hey!
Still silent, Aspen distractedly sits down, already pulling out the packet the agent gave to her to examine. Juliet gives me a questioning look, and I offer a tiny shrug in response. I assume we're going to find out what's on Aspen's mind soon. There are two parts of the packet. The first one is huge, almost thick as a book. It must be the copy of the manuscript Aspen sent in. The second one is much smaller, but still lengthy. That's the one Aspen focuses on. She reads over the document, which has to be at least a dozen pages long, if not more. Even worse, the printed words are really tiny. Finally, she put both bundles into her bag, chewing her lip before speaking.
I think I can do this.
Do what?
Aspen snaps her attention to me, like she noticed she's not alone.
Oh! I'm sorry, I spaced out.
Yeah, we could tell.
It's quite all right. It's clear you have a lot to think about.
Yes, well, hopefully I've got most of the thinking out of the way.
She slumps back, shoulders rising and falling as she sighs.
They said it needs a lot of work, which is understandable. I already knew that from all the rejection notices. I hadn't realised the scope of the issues, but fortunately they did. When I saw all the markups, I was taken aback at first. It made sense when I thought about it, though. They're a publisher for a reason, and as a first-time author, I want a publisher for a reason. So it needs a lot of work. A lot of rewriting, really. But they encouraged me to fix it up and then resubmit. They asked me to make my decision by Halloween, so I have a few weeks to think it over. But I think I'd be a fool not to do it, right?
Aspen looks at Juliet and me in turn, and from her knitted brows and a small frown, I can tell Juliet is thinking the same as I am.
You don't sound convinced.
It's a big decision. Surely you don't need to make it right away. Why not take advantage of the time they gave you to think about it?
I don't have to decide right now. But if I just let myself think about it too long, I'll never do anything. I've learned that the hard way. Besides,
Her voice drops and face falls.
there may not be another chance.
I follow her gaze, tucked into her bag near where the papers from the agent were stuffed. I can see the corners of several more empty envelopes. More for Aspen's collection. She catches me looking and nudges the bag shut with her foot.
I suppose you're right, though. I should give it a bit more thought. It can wait until after the weekend, at least.
Relieved, Juliet nods.
I think that's a wise idea.
We spent the rest of the evening together, chatting and having a good time. None of us mentioned writing or Aspen's book again, including her. Still, there's something in the way she talks and laughs, like she's only half listening. I'd hoped that a meeting would make Aspen feel better and relax again, the way she was on our date at the gardens. Instead, it seems like it's done the opposite. It's hard to see her struggle, and I wish there was something I could do. But I'm the least qualified person to give Aspen advice on something like this. I don't know anything about books or writing or publishers. I do know how important writing is to her, and how many of her dreams revolve around it. I know how hard she worked, and will keep working. No matter what, I also know that it's something she'll have to decide for herself, with or without advice from Juliet and me, of course. I'll support Aspen no matter what she chooses. I just hope that whatever decision she makes, she won't end up regretting it later. By the time Aspen has to head home, she's perked up a little bit, but not enough to make me stop worrying about her. Still, she says goodbye with a kiss and a smile, and a promise to come by in the morning. Right now, they'll have to be good enough for me. On Saturday morning, I wake up around my usual time, but linger in bed for a while. I can hear the distant sound of Aspen and Juliet having an animated conversation. Aspen laughs, then Juliet laughs. I don't know what they're laughing about, but I smile too. I just like hearing my girlfriend laugh. After all, no matter what kind of troubles are weighing on our minds, if she's able to laugh despite everything, then that's the win in my book.
It's like listening to my girlfriend talk. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Listen to my partner's yap is so nice.
Like, I might not understand all the stuff that Peanut talks about because they do coding, but it's like, I like hearing you talk. I'll try to help, but I am not. I'm distracted. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I'll just listen. You just yap for as long as you need. Aside from a couple hasty meals, it's been a while since the two of them have actually gotten to spend time together. Sometimes it's easy to forget that they've known each other longer than they've known me. Outside, it's shaping up to be another beautiful day. There are clouds, but none of them are rain clouds. The trees and grass sway in a gentle breeze beyond my window. I've had more beautiful days here than I can count. Even Wellington weather at its worst isn't so bad from indoors. I open my window, enjoying the morning air as I freshen myself up too. Making my way silently to the kitchen, I pause just out of sight and listen.
I've given it lots of thought.
I have, but I still can't decide. Regina really wants me to take it, of course, but...
But there are good and bad parts of both.
Exactly. I feel like...
No need to compare. I understand what you mean.
For a little while longer, I stay where I am, unseen. Not because I want to eavesdrop or spy at Aspen and Juliet, but because I don't want to interrupt them. I just want to let them talk. Maybe I'll do just that. Hearing Aspen express some of her worries and hearing Juliet offer words of encouragement reminds me of some of my earliest days here. Both of them changed their lives around to include me, which is something I'll always be grateful for. Still, I should give them a chance to spend some time with just each other. Not because I feel unwelcome, but because that hasn't really happened since I arrived. Eventually, there's a moment of silence followed by a sound of a cup being set on the table. I choose this time to make my entrance.
Ah, there you are.
Good morning, Miho.
Good morning!
I go into the kitchen and grab a piece of toast and an apple, but I don't sit down.
Sleep well.
Sure did. Now that I'm up, though, I think I'm gonna go for a walk.
This early? Well, it was quite quite nice on my way up here.
Yeah, I used to go for morning walks all the time. But it's been a while.
You couldn't have picked a better day, it seems. Enjoy yourself then, Miho.
I will. See you when I'm back.
For good measure, I wrapped a couple of more slices of toast in a paper towel and put them in one of my deep pockets, along with another apple and some packs of jam. I wave goodbye before I leave, and then I head back to my room and get dressed before stepping outside towards the road. Munching on my breakfast as I walk, I hum a song to myself that I heard on TV. I go in the direction of the ocean, same as usual. My days of endless wandering really have decreased. I actually have places to go now and people to see. A day without plans is a luxury. I wonder how youngin chose where to go on their travels. What first brought them to my forest all those years ago? Was it on a whim, or was there something in particular they were searching for? If there was, I hope they found it. I would have loved to ask. Would have loved to tell them about Aspen and Juliet. More than anything, though, I wish I could have thanked them. Our time together was short, even by human standards, but it still meant everything to me. I take myself to Mount Victoria and start the familiar climb, but before I get to the top, I stop.
Thank you for the water.
It's only been a couple of days since I last came here and saw Silver. Trying to visit her again so soon might be pushing my luck. But so is trying to visit her at all. Try and find my water, actually. The lukewarm toast and apple in my pocket aren't much, but if she lives anything, like I did, she'll still probably appreciate them. Even if she doesn't say it. Instead of transforming, I stay on 2 feet, heading in the same direction I went last time. Too concerned about finding her. If she wants to be found, she will be. Keeping my eyes and ears peeled, I watch for a glint of silver fur or the sound of a snapping branch. When I finally spot her, it's purely by accident. Once again, she's in her human form rather than fox. With her back to me, she kneels at the edge of the patch of grass, attention focused on something I can't see. She doesn't move as I approach, although I'm sure she knows I'm there.
Be careful.
I halt, still a few feet away. She didn't call me a dog.
What is it?
I approach delicately, scanning the ground before every step. Finally, I arrive behind her and look down to find my answer.
Oh.
A bird about the size of my hand lies on the side of the grass. It's alive, but clearly injured. Aww.
What happened to it?
This one was blown from its perch in the tree. For whatever reason, it was too weak to fly. Now, its leg is broken. It won't be long until it dies.
Looking down, I see Silver's right about his injury. He struggles to flap his wings, but he can't even push himself to a standing position.
Poor thing.
I kneel down beside Silver.
You were trying to help it, right?
She scoffs.
It is beyond help. Such is nature's way. I simply thought to put it out of its misery.
You didn't, though.
Silence. Before doing anything else, I reach into my pocket and pull out a food I brought with me, holding it out towards Silver.
Here, I brought you this.
She looks at it, but doesn't make any move to accept.
What is this? Poison?
I mean, do you want
It's
it to
an
be?
apple and some toast. It's not poisoned. I ate some myself. Ooh, and this.
I had to dig all the way down to the bottom to find the little pack.
Grape jelly.
Silver stares incredulously, like I'm trying to give her, well, poison or something. I set the food down by her knees and turn my attention back to the bird.
Let's get you some help, Birdie.
I cut my fingers together and reach for the bird, which finally gets a reaction from Silver.
What are you doing?
My best.
Keeping this little birdie alive.
Yeah. Her voice is sharp like a knife.
I'm going to take this guy back home.
I may not know what to do, but I'm sure Aspen or Juliet will. It's better than just leaving it out here to die.
Why? It's weak. Even were it to survive today, it's only a matter of time before something else claims its life.
So what? I'm sure that time still matters to it. Both of us can relate, right?
As gently as I can, I slide my hands around the struggling bird and scoop up the poor little thing. Speedy eyes look around frantically, and I can feel his tiny heart pounding in his tiny chest. I started heading back towards the library as fast as I can. Before I get very far, there's noise from behind me, and I look back to see Silver following me. An empty paper towel dangles from her hand. Smiling to myself, I keep walking. When I step from the woods and back onto the path, I expect Silver to have disappeared. Instead, she takes a few cautious steps out, looking left and right, as if a car might come barreling down the mountain.
You good?
I'm all right.
Okay.
Just been struggling to read.
It's okay. Do you need some water?
Yeah.
Go ahead and take a sip.
Yeah, just gotta take a sip. Ugh. Yeah, I stupidly put my bottle like way behind me. There we go.
Take your time.
It's alright. Oh, avoiding my eyes, she walks past me and keeps going, like she was planning to do this anyway. When we reach the base of Mount Victoria, she's a few meters ahead of me, and I cleared my throat loudly to get her attention.
It's this way.
She stomps after me, annoyed at Wellington for his geography or something.
You mean I have to take the roads? I hate it.
Oh god, do I have to follow the roads? This is rude. Her clothes, which I'm clearly meant to help her sneak around at night, stands out like a sore thumb in the morning sun. They also must be hot as hell. If either of those things bother her, she doesn't let herself show it. I curl my fingers to shade the bird as much as I can. It seems to have calmed down a little, but that's probably more from exhaustion than anything. I've reached the library, Silver trails far behind. I wait at the entrance, not sure if she's coming or not. I don't ask, she'll do what she wants either way. After a moment, she walks up the hill and joins me. Oh? I simply nod in acknowledgement before I push open the door with my shoulder, Silver behind me like a shadow. Within seconds, Aspen pops ahead from the dining room.
Ah, Miho, we were just
Who are you?
Who are you? What are you doing with my girlfriend? Huh? God damn it. Choking in surprise, Aspen's eyes go wide as a saucer as she notices my companion. She disappears from sight, and I can only imagine what she's saying to Juliet right now.
There's another person in the house. She brought someone in.
Oh my god. Behind me, Silver looks around in curious awe. Although she stops when she noticed me watching. I jerk my head towards the dining room and head in. Both Aspen and Juliet were waiting, trying to appear casual. But by the way they're both silently staring at the entrance, I'm sure it's just an act.
This is Silver.
Oh yeah, didn't she told me to not call her Silver?
Yeah, she was like, well, no, because like she didn't. Yeah, like she was like, don't call me Silver, but then she didn't come up with another name. She couldn't think of one.
She's like, oh, do what you wish, dog.
Yeah.
She nods at the ground and says nothing, displaying none of her usual venom or drama. It feels as if she's hiding behind me, which is something I wouldn't have expected her pride to allow.
It's quite nice to meet you, Silver.
Charmed.
None of them know what to say. I can't blame them. Fortunately, there's something more important to talk about.
We came back here because we need some help. Or at least this guy does.
I uncurl my fingers and tilt my hands for Aspen and Juliet to see. I doubt either of them even noticed I was carrying something. They both lean in to see.
What's this?
What's this? It's a bird, Juliet!
Like, what else is it? It's our new pet.
You lived...
His leg.
You were older than me. You lived for centuries and centuries, and you're asking what's this? It's like, what, have you never seen a fucking bird before? Sorry, peering at the little bird, it doesn't take Juliet more than a second to see what's wrong.
Be like, why did
Sorry,
you?
I ruined the moment.
No, it's okay. It's just like it's like Juliet having to deal because you know how like cats will bring you like, I brought you something because you can't hunt. So I brought
Oh,
you like,
yeah.
so it's like, Miho, are you okay? Is this like a sign that you think that I'm not providing for you? It's like, no, it's a bird, damn it. We're gonna raise it.
God damn it! Ugh. She hurriedly departs for the stairs, moving right past Silver without a glance. Silver lurches aside to get out of her way all the same. Aspen grabs one of the dish rags and folds it up to make a small square, then sets it on the table.
Here, why don't you put him down on this? I read that it's best to put him in a box or somewhere enclosed, but this will do for now.
I gently lower the bird onto the makeshift cushion. Its eyes still dart around, but it doesn't struggle as much. I sigh with relief being able to unfold my hands, shaking and stretching them out before washing them several times. Juliet returns soon with her phone in one hand and a small cardboard box in the other. Using a kitchen knife, she cuts a few holes into the side of the box and then puts it aside.
Miho, will you help me move him?
She takes two corners of the rag and I grab the other two, and we carefully lift it over the box and then set it down inside.
Do you think it'll be okay?
I keep my voice at a whisper. Even though the bird can't understand our words, I still don't want it to hear.
I hope so. If not for you, it certainly wouldn't have a chance. I've contacted someone who will be able to provide better assistance than we can.
Is it
Should be
Lena?
here shortly.
It's Lena, isn't it? It's Lena.
It's C&B Lena. It's like, I'm part bird. I know what to do.
Oh yeah, that's right. No, Aspen!
A contact at the nature preserve. She's
Oh yeah,
rescued
that also
quite a
makes
few
sense.
unfortunate creatures like our friend here.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a nature preserve before. What's that?
It's a conservation area on the north side of town. They have a bunch of protected land where they rehabilitate injured animals or ones that can't survive in the wild. I used to go there on class trips sometimes. One time we had a sleepover there, and I saw a kiwi.
Ooh. She smiles fondly as she recalls the memory. I want to see a kiwi bird in real life.
I've seen them, and they are very interesting. I just feel bad for kiwis.
Aw. Yeah.
Because, fun fact, kiwis are in the same, I forget the scientific name, but they're in the same category as emus and ostriches.
Oh?
So here is the problem. So, you realize how big an emu is, right?
Oh yeah, an emu was like fucking massive.
Right.
Well, tall. Very tall.
How big is an emu egg?
Massive, I'm presuming.
Yes. Sadly, the kiwi is like an emu. It has to lay the same egg.
Hold up. A kiwi that size lays an egg that big as an emu.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm going to share my screen.
What does a pregnant kiwi looks like?
All right. I'm sharing.
Holy.
Yeah, it rearranges its organs to make this fit.
Oh, probably no different from how we do it then.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's like this poor bird has to lay almost the exact same size as an emu egg. So it's like, oh no, I gotta pass this thing. So yeah, it rearranges all of its organs and its bone structure to fit the one egg.
Oh my Christ. Oh yeah, it makes sense seeing the actual size of the kiwi. I thought they were a little smaller than that, so thank goodness they were a little bit bigger than I thought they were.
Yeah, no, it is like it's still pretty big, but
That would be me if I have babies, because I am not exactly tall.
like it is outrageous. When I found out that fact, I was like, that's horrifying. Like those poor birds.
Wow. Poor thing.
Because it's like, hey, we're cousins.
Oh.
Cool. You're gonna lay eggs soon. What? I'm gonna have baby eggs, right? Have baby eggs.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like the Anakin look.
Please.
It'll be baby eggs, right? Right? It'll be baby eggs, right?
Buckle up, buddy.
Whoa.
Strap in.
No
Welcome
one
to
said that
bird
existed.
pregnancy.
It's far from the only one. There are dozens more in New Zealand alone, of all different sizes.
Looking at the box of the table, I can't help but feel a little bad for our friend. He's probably never going to see his home on Mount Victoria again, and he doesn't even get a say in it. Where he's going doesn't sound half bad. Like Juliet said, he probably wouldn't have survived if he hadn't been left on. Oh my goodness, if he'd been left on his own. If not for me, and for...
Silver?
I only now realize that she's gone.
Oh, I didn't even notice her leave.
She's like that.
I go out into the hallway, looking up the stairs and around the room for her. Front door is open, but only a crack. Something's keeping it from closing. Walking over, I spot something on the floor, jammed between the door and the wall. the gnawed core of an apple wrapped in a breadcrumb-covered paper towel. Laughing, I picked it up and threw it in the trash, letting the door shut behind me. In the dining room, Aspen and Juliet were both seated again. It's far past Juliet's bedtime, but she looks as awake and alert as I ever seen her. I sit down too, waiting for the question that I know is coming. It doesn't take Aspen more than 2 seconds.
So, who exactly was that? Obviously, she was a Gumiho, but
I take a deep breath and try to think of where to begin.
It's a long story.
you know that's my favorite kind.
Nodding, I finally settle on where to start.
She used to be a fox, just like me.
I'll go from here.
Okay.
When bedtime rolls around in the evening, I'm more than ready for it. Climbing over my bed to reach the window, I pause for a moment to enjoy the breeze. Left it open all day. As I reach up to pull it shut, the wind intensifies for just a moment. The flowers on my desk shake and my scroll rolls off the edge and onto the floor. I slide the window closed with a dull thud and then pick up the fallen parchment. It's been a while since I've opened it, but I still know every crease and rough edge by heart. Unfolding it, I stare at the familiar but unfamiliar scrawlings. What would that guy at the museum exhibit have thought if they saw my scroll? Could they have read it? Well, they probably would have thought I stole it from somewhere. No matter what it says, I probably got more use of it than Zhang Yin ever expected. What kind of person gives a scroll to a fox? Then again, that was part of what made them so special. My phone buzzes and I set the scroll back down as I see Aspen's picture appear.
Hey!
Hey, you weren't in bed yet, were you?
Nah, not yet. Soon, though.
Well, I won't keep you up. I just wanted to say goodnight again, and that I love you.
I love you too. But I don't mind staying up. Is everything okay?
I can hear the sounds. Huh?
Sorry, I thought. You know what? My mind's all over the place. I thought I was reading. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, you're good, you're good. I can hear the sound of Aspen's blankets and an annoyed meow as she moves around on the other end.
Yeah, I'm fine. I couldn't fall asleep. Thinking about all the editing I have ahead of me. Today was nice, though. I'm glad I got to see you and Juliet. And Silver.
Me too. And the burn.
Aspen laughs.
Right, and the bird.
Earlier, I told her and Julie about the other times I had met Silver. It's some of what I'd learned about magic. I kept the details of her past secret, though. Isn't mine to talk about.
I'm sure he's very glad he met the two of you as well.
Yeah, well, I couldn't just leave it there. Even if it can't have a normal bird life or live in the forest. At least it's got someone to take care of it now. I didn't really do that much.
You did plenty. Many people would have left him to die, if they even noticed him at all.
Maybe. Yeah.
I also didn't tell her and Juliet about how Silver thought we should just abandon him too. The reason I gave Silver for why I couldn't do that was true, though. Although I can't blame her for not believing me or understanding. Someone saved my life once too. Silver was chosen to die.
I thought that it should have a chance too. Even though it's just a bird, it's still alive. I'm sure people would have said I'm just a fox before. I didn't even know how to help it. I just hoped you or Juliet would. That was really the lucky part. That and Juliet knowing someone else to contact. It took a lot of people to save that bird, huh?
Even Silver, in her own weird way, I think she was glad it survived too. There's no response from the other end, although the call is still going. Just a faint sound.
Aspen?
Listen to the noise for a second, I realize it's her breath. She's already fallen asleep. Smiling, I leave the call running to set my phone next to my pillow and lay down. After a few seconds, the screen turns off, Aspen's photo disappearing as well.
Sleep tight.
2 weeks later. 2 weeks later?
2 weeks?
Okay.
Okay, you can open your eyes.
That was a huge time skip.
I know. I take my hands off my
Bruh.
face and look around. Aspen's apartment doesn't seem any different than usual, aside from being a bit untidy. But she stands there in front of me, beaming with her hands behind her back.
Maybe it's
Oh,
a
I'm
little
just gonna
silly
go
to
grab a
celebrate
snack.
Kaylee's
Okay.
month anniversary, but I have a gift for you.
A gift?
Yes, although it's kind of a gift for both of us.
Slowly, she brings her hands around and reveals what she was hiding. A stack of papers. Too small to be her manuscript, but similar. Turns the stack so I can see the front page, which only has a few words written on it. Short enough that I can sound them out. Alright, I want to chill for a second until Heroynex gets back. Hope you guys are having a good day so far. Hey, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna deal with the birds, but if Hero gets back, just let them know that I'm just gonna step out for a second.
Back.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, I'm back.
Okay, perfect.
The Fox and the Grove.
Yes, the title was supposed to be a placeholder, but I rather like it. It's a new story that I wrote. You can probably guess what it's about.
I flip through the pages. There's only text on one side and a lot of blank space. Still, holding and looking at this present makes my heart swell.
I can't believe you already wrote a new book.
It's much shorter than my novel, more like a kid's book than anything.
Still, that's amazing. I didn't even know you were working on this.
That's because it was supposed to be a surprise, silly. It's just working on all these changes to my novel. I needed something that I could write on the side for fun.
No wonder you've been so tired all the time. You've been working on 2 things at once.
It's fine. I'm fine. Once I'm done with the edits, everything will be back to normal. Spending time on this felt like a treat.
With a bright smile, she doesn't quite hide the bags under her eyes. I wish I could believe Aspen when she says she's fine.
I only have a couple more days before I have to send in my revisions anyway. So by next week, I'll be able to relax again.
The area around her desk is messy. What's up?
I said, oh, you're poor sweet summer child.
The area around her desk is messy, more than the rest of her apartment. Aside from her laptop and notebook spread across it, there are empty coffee cups, loose sheets of paper, and wrappers from fast food and frozen meals. The covers on her bed are unmade, revealing a shoebox that's hidden beneath it. The lid is bulging with how many letters are stuffed into it. Noticing my stare, Aspen zips over to the bed and pulls the sheets down to hide the box, kicking some clothes and other stuff on the floor under the bed too.
Anyway, here, for you. I love you.
I take the papers as gently as I can and hold them close to my heart as I lean in to kiss Aspen.
I love you too.
Yay! Like always, the moment is way too short, but Aspen's smile looks brighter and more real when we part.
Go ahead and make yourself at home. I need to take care of the cats and do all my other after-work chores.
Okay. Let me know if you need any help.
Of course.
Another kiss on the cheek, and then she's off. On one hand, it's hard to believe we've already been dating for a month. On the other, it's hard to believe it's only been a month. It feels like ages since we said goodbye at the bus station. I've had that feeling several times since coming to Wellington, where the days feel like they either rush by or drag on. Either way, they've passed and I've been here for almost 3 months now. It's not the longest I've lived in one place, but I'm sure that at some point, that's my record. I kick off my shoes and lay back on the bed, staring up at the ceiling with Aspen's new book on my chest. I kick off my... Everything around me has the faintest trace of Aspen's perfume, along with the ever-present smell of coffee. The blankets, the sheets, the pillows, all of it. Even out of the room, her presence is all-encompassing. From the bathroom, over the sound of the running shower, I can hear Aspen singing something to herself. Wonder if she knows I can hear her. Or maybe she's doing it because she knows I can hear. Although her singing voice isn't the best, it's surprisingly clear and stable. I like listening to it just because it's hers. Right when I'm about to sit up, one of Aspen's cats, I think it's Byron, pops up on the bed beside me. I expect him to run away as soon as he recognizes me. To my surprise, he doesn't. He sniffs my ears and my tail, but then cautiously nuzzles my face.
Aw. Hey, buddy.
I reach out to try to pet him, but that turns out to be too much and he darts away.
Oh well, it's better than last time.
I move down to the floor with my back against the bed, setting the papers in my lap. They're stapled together at the top, but I'm afraid of tearing or damaging them. Even though I know Aspen would print another copy, there's something special about this one. It's the one that she made just for me. I make sure there aren't any other cats around who might cause any issues, then turn to the first page. In the middle of the forest was a grove. In the middle of that grove was a log. It had been years since it had fallen. Once one of the proudest trees around, and now in death was home to the abundance of life. It takes me a long time, probably longer than it should, to read through. It's not just my slow pace of the words. It's also the memories that they call to mind. I can picture exactly what the log looks like. If I close my eyes, I can smell the damp grass and feel the breeze on my fur. Seeing Jung-Eun's words written out brings a lump to my throat. I carried them around in my head for so long before I even understood them. Now seeing them written down, will last forever. Some details are different from reality. And of course, Aspen's book doesn't use any names, but it's still my story. Back when I first met Aspen, I told her I didn't have any story to tell now. Reading it back to myself, I could kind of see why he found it so interesting. Maybe there's always been more to me than I thought. Eventually, Aspen emerges from the restroom. Her hair is still wet. Blotting papers in my hand, she approaches with a smile.
Hey, no dripping.
Oops, good save.
I can't let my favorite book get ruined after all.
Favorite book?
Yeah, I loved it. I really loved it.
After putting the papers on the nightstand where they'll be safe, I stand up so I can give Aspen a hug.
I'm so glad. That makes it all worth it. I was worried I might get something wrong or forget an important part, but...
I cut her off by tapping a finger to her lips.
It was perfect.
Kissing my finger, Aspen smiles.
It's what you deserve.
Aspen goes to dry her hair and then bustles around finishing up her chores before returning to my side. Leaning against me, she yawns.
You should go take a nap.
Even without the yawning, it's clear that she needs rest. It hasn't been getting much.
I can't nap. You're here. Besides, I haven't done any of my writing for the day.
Wouldn't you write better if you're not tired?
I haven't been not tired for years. And what about you?
What about me? I'm fine.
But if I'm asleep, then that's less time that I get to spend with you.
We're still together. It'd be the same as if you were writing, right?
You have a point there.
I sit down in her desk chair, blocking off her computer and crossing my arms. Melodramatically sighing, she lays down in the bed, but still faces me.
All right. half an hour or so. If I oversleep, you better wake me up before you leave, alright?
Okay.
I have zero intentions of waking her up. You're going to sleep. Gives me a doubtful eye.
I mean it. No slipping out silently so you can let me sleep or any nonsense like that.
But you need sleep, Aspen.
I won't. I promise.
You better be doing that with your fingers crossed, Miho.
Removing her glasses and putting them on the nightstand, Aspen offers me one last smile.
Good.
1 second, y'all. Yeah, boy.
You okay?
Yeah, I almost dropped my remote.
Oh.
It didn't even take a minute before I could hear the shift in her breathing. She's out like a light.
Just like on the phone.
Half an hour comes and goes while I watch videos on Aspen's computer or reread the book she wrote for me. Of course, she has no signs of waking up anytime soon. Good. She needs to rest. I won't wake her up. I won't break my promise either. It's simple. I can't leave until she gets up. I just won't go. Fair enough. Let's go. Oh, I thought that she was gonna get in bed with her. Go take a nap together. I entertain myself when time passes by. Byron the cat gets bold enough to try approaching me again. And Percy comes with him too. He sits down in unison near my feet.
Here, kitties.
Holding out my hand, I stretch my fingers as far as possible. They stare for a moment before one of them, and then the other gives a curious sniff. Finally, deciding I'm not a threat, they both rub against my leg, letting me scratch their backs. Their fur is soft and fluffy, like petting a pillow. They go back and forth around each other, suddenly unable to get enough attention. Well, it's like I don't know who that is. Night falls and I start to get tired too. Aspen hasn't moved at all, other than to toss and turn occasionally. I send a quick message to Juliet to tell her where I am, and then set my phone down next to Aspen's on her nightstand, by the printed pages. It all feels very normal, but in a good way. The little fox in her grove could have ever dreamed of the things she'd see one day. Planes, phones, apartment buildings. All she knew of humans was a kind touch and a piece of paper. In some ways, the little fox never changed. Moving as carefully as ever did in the middle of a heist, I flick off the lights, half expecting the sudden darkness to disturb Aspen. She doesn't budge at all. Same goes for when I climb into bed beside her. I wrap my arms around Aspen, dragging my tail across us both. Move slightly, and I curse myself silently. I must not have been careful enough.
Miho?
Let me hug you, damn it.
Let me cuddle.
I'm here.
Good.
Within seconds, she's asleep again. Before I myself drift out the trough, there's a soft thump on the bed behind me. Second one. Something warm and fuzzy rests against my back, then again near my legs. I crane my head to look at the cats. They're both curled up into balls, paws near their faces just like their owner. Byron stares at me in the dark, probably wondering why I'm looking at him. Sonny doesn't care, closes his eyes like Percy and Aspen. Feeling more content than I can ever remember, I shut my eyes as well and drift off into sleep. I wake up to a sound from hell. It screeches and blares so loud that it hurts. My eyes shoot open in an instant. I sit bolt upright in a place I don't recognize. Where am I? What's going on? Beside me, something moves. I stare at the pulsing lump in the darkness. I remembered the answers to one of my questions. So disoriented that I forgot I was at Aspen's. She rolls over to her other side, not reacting to the sound. Instead, she looks confused for other reasons.
Miho?
I nod, too tongue-tied to know what to say first. Pushing herself up on one arm, Aspen reaches all the way across me, fumbles across. She grabs her phone. As she pulls it past my face, I realize it's the source of the noise. She presses something on the screen, the sound disappears. With a groan, she drops her phone into the blanket between us.
Time to wake up.
My racing heart begins to slow back down. Just her alarm clock.
Oh, God, thank.
I know, like, the music was, like, distressing. I was like, huh, huh, huh.
It's like, did Miho accidentally left the stove on? Huh?
I'm not sure Aspen even noticed.
Jesus.
She rubs her eyes sleepily.
I'm not still dreaming, am I?
I shake my head.
I don't think anyone could still be dreaming after that.
Why didn't... I didn't...
Her thoughts stumble off into a yawn. She tries again.
You were supposed to wake me up.
Only before I left, so I didn't leave.
Even half asleep, she still manages to smile. Rolling onto her back, she looks up at the ceiling with half-lidded eyes.
My day's already been made.
Two of us are some of the only pedestrians out this early. Few cars and the occasional school bus pass us by, but for the most part, the walk to the library is quiet. When we get there, Juliet's already waiting in the kitchen.
Good morning, you two.
Morning.
Hello. Go ahead and have a seat. The coffee's ready and breakfast will be soon.
Thank you, Juliet. You're a treasure.
She poured herself a cup of coffee, even though she already had two before we left her apartment.
My pleasure. I'm glad to have a reason to cook.
Aspen nurses her drink, taking tiny sips while nearly dozing off against my shoulder. Juliet finishes the food while I spread out the dishes across the table.
Thanks, love.
Aspen mumbles as I set her plate in front of her. Even with the coffee, it seems like she may fall asleep at any moment. I'm not sure she even knows what she said, but I heard her loud and clear. What do they call it? A pet name? It feels really good. If Sybil was here, I'm sure she'd have a bunch of witty things to say about that. As I finish setting the table, Juliet brings a pot and a couple of plates of food. Breakfast today is oatmeal with some fresh fruit and a waffle with syrup. It seems to get Aspen to perk up a little bit. After we finish eating and clear everything away, he finally seems properly alert and awake. After another cup of coffee too, of course. I spent too much time with Aspen over the past day that when she stands up to go to work, it takes me by surprise. I'd forgotten she'd have to leave. Once she says goodbye to Juliet, I walk with her to the door. Neither of us want to let go of the other, but eventually Aspen takes her first step outside.
Have a good day at work.
I will. Thank you for yesterday. And today. Even if I slept through most of it, it was nice to wake up beside you.
Yeah. We should do it again sometime.
Absolutely. After this weekend...
She searches for the words.
You'll be able to breathe again.
Exactly.
It seems like she might say more, but then with a small shake of her head, she gives me a goodbye kiss.
Bye, Miho.
See you soon.
I watch Aspen and go until she's disappeared from sight. I go back to the kitchen to grab a drink. I'm surprised to see Juliet still sitting at the table. I'm so used to her going to bed when Aspen leaves.
Now you're gonna be extra tired too.
I sit down across from her and she chuckles, but there's real concern in her eyes too.
So, I wasn't imagining it. Is she alright?
She's...
Not getting enough sleep, stressed out, pushing herself too hard.
She's Aspen.
Now Juliet really laughs.
Yes, fair enough. From the moment she told us about that conversation with her editor, I worried that something like this would happen.
Which part? How'd you know?
Juliet collects her thoughts before answering.
Before we met you, that book of hers was all Aspen could really think about. Even when we discussed books by other authors, it always came back to her own stories. And yet, For the conversation and all the advice, I couldn't begin to tell you what her book is even about. Could you?
Shake my head.
I don't know anything about it either.
I thought not. Do you remember a few weeks ago when she first told us she'd sent in her manuscript?
Yeah. She was going to surprise us with good news, but changed her mind.
Indeed. At first, she didn't want us to know until she had the contract in hand. In other words, until she was sure it's good enough. She feels she has so much to prove, not just to herself, but the world. Chasing perfection that's unattainable. So much of her heart and soul has gone into those pages that I can't help but imagine she takes every rejection personally. As a rejection of her, not just her work. Because in Aspen's eyes, I believe they're one and the same.
She said that this could be her only chance, and that's why she has to take it.
To Aspen, who's only ever seen one pathway forward to the future, I'm sure it seems that way. Even if from the outside, to you and I, that so clearly isn't true.
There's a bunch of other stuff she's good at too, besides writing. Like running a cafe or doing research. Those are things that even I know are useful.
Slumping down on my chair, I stare at the small ring of coffee on the table where Aspen's mug used to be.
I wish I could help her. She's done so much for me. But it was all I could do to even get her to sleep.
I'm sure that your presence and care for her help more than you know. In the end, painful or not, it's up to Aspen to learn from her experiences. After all, it's one thing to know something from reading it in a book or hearing it from someone else. It's quite another to live through and experience something yourself. You and I can't grow for her. We can be there for her. Sometimes, a kind word and the knowledge that we aren't alone can be the support that we need. The strength must come from within ourselves. Whatever choices Aspen is faced with, only she can make them. All we can do is offer our comfort and guidance. And Miho?
I look up from the ground, meeting Juliet's gaze. Although she's not angry or upset, he's unusually serious.
Don't forget to care for yourself, too. It's easy to get caught up in the euphoria of love, which isn't a bad thing. But just as you cannot live Aspen's life for her, you cannot live your life solely for her sake either. By all means, love passionately, and deeply, and recklessly. But don't forget to live for yourself, too.
I find myself on the verge of saying, I know, but catch myself. Instead, I just nod, because I also know that Juliet herself has been through to find herself offering that advice. With a smile returning to her face, Juliet's serious demeanor lightens a little.
Well, now that I've prattled on for a while, I do think I'll get some rest of my own.
I manage to smile back.
Sleep tight.
Thank you.
She starts to exit the kitchen, but as she passes me, Juliet pauses and then backtracks a step.
Perhaps it was just the light, but is there something different about your bead?
Huh?
Oh?
I hadn't even looked at my necklace today. I take it off to see what Juliet's talking about. It's still glowing, no more or less brightly than it was yesterday, I think, but turning over my hands a few times, I notice something. Sure enough, she's right.
It's cracked.
Uh-oh.
What?
There's a hairline fracture running across part of my bead. It's so small that at first it looks like an eyelash or a piece of dust. But when I rub my finger over it, I can feel the subtle ridge. There's a light tingling sensation. My fingertip is falling asleep.
May I see it closer?
I hold out the necklace for her, angling it so she gets as clear a view as possible. Of course, I can't let go or it would go back around my neck. Juliet starts to reach one hand for it, then changes her mind, instead of just leaning in to close to examine. Finally, she shakes her head.
Unfortunately, I can't discern anything more than the obvious. Your magic remains foreign to me, like a book in an unknown language.
I can't help but be reminded of the scroll upstairs.
What do you think it could mean?
What do you... For a long moment, she's quiet. Even before asking, I know the answer. I talk.
don't know, but I don't think it's coincidence or random.
Me either.
I'm sure the frustration in my voice is obvious. It's always questions, questions, and rarely any answers. It's getting harder and harder to push them from my thoughts. Rather than to repeat our goodbyes, Juliet places a reassuring hand on my shoulder.
I have faith that when the time is right, you'll know what to do. Slow progress is still progress.
I nod, goes off to bed. Progress. I just wish I knew what it was progressing towards. Okay, and I'll let you read from here. So go into the park, talk to Lena.
Yes, talk to my girl Lena. Okay. The rehearsals for the play carry on regularly over the month. We have at least one every week, and sometimes more. Although I don't go every single one of them, I go to lots.
You're a little low. Did you step away from your mic?
Oh yeah, I'm just turning it up. Yeah, I was munching some crisps, so I didn't
Oh,
want
that's
the
fair.
mic to pick up on it.
That's fair.
There we go.
All good. I was just like, I didn't turn the volume down.
No, it's fine. No, I just turn it down so people won't hear me eating.
Yeah.
But and Juliet are probably more excited about it than I am, and always encourage me before I go, even though I told them several times that I'm not really participating that much. Out of the entire cast, there's definitely no one who works as hard as Lena and Cyrus do. Not only do those have the most lines, but they have the most energy too. Considering how quiet Cyrus is when he's not acting, watching and hearing him perform with so much emotion is like seeing a whole new person. Even though the play isn't until December, more than a month away, neither of them ever slack off. There, I sometimes help out with things like organising the props, handing out refreshments. The actual performance will be on a real stage, but we haven't been able to use one for practice yet. Times I do have to perform my part, which mostly means standing still in my costume, but sometimes having to move around. I'm not totally sure why they don't just use fake trees, but it's okay. Although I wasn't exactly looking forward to being part of this at first, the more time I spend at rehearsals, the more fun I have. Even though I have to meet most of the cast every time, they're all pretty friendly and easy to get along with. And even I can see the improvement that happens every week. Everyone is getting better, not just Lena and Cyrus. Occasionally, other people in the park will stop by to watch for a bit, and they always clap or cheer whether we're done or when they leave. Overall, the play is nice. It's a nice distraction from my worries of my everyday life. It's nice to have one thing that I don't have to stress about. There's still a long way to go, but I know that just means we have to improve even more before the real thing. Surprising even myself, I'm looking forward to showing everyone just how hard we've been working. It's late and the moon is high in the sky when there's suddenly a knock at my window. Ayo. I burst up from my spot on the floor where I've been dozing.
What the?
In the darkness, it takes a moment for me to discern the face behind the glass. When I do, it turns out to be the last person I expect. The Fisher guy! It's totally the Fisher guy. Oh, right, then yeah,
Damn.
Silver, that makes sense. I pull the window open, where Silver is perched on the branch of a nearby tree.
What are. How did. Why not just use the door?
Come outside. I would speak with you.
Come into this room and speak to me. I'm in my Jimmy Jams and I can't go outside. Ignoring my questions like always, Silver stands up. I catch the corner of a cocky smile before she leaps from the branch, plummeting towards the ground below.
Hey!
Clutching the windowsill, I jam my head out of the window, expecting to see her crumpled on the grass. Instead, I'm just in time to watch her nimbly land at her feet and transform before running off into the darkness behind the library. With no time to wait or even think about it, I follow after her. Of course, I take the stairs and go out the door first. I transform right away and wrap around the building, expecting to have to chase after Silver, even though she came here. Instead, she hasn't gone far at all, just beyond the edge of the yard. She stands in her human form and stares out at the city below us. Many windows are dark, but many are illuminated too. The street lights and lamps stand lit, even with no one to use them. A warm yellow glow pushes away the darkness at the edges of town. Changing forms back as well, I walk over to stand beside her. Without looking at me, Sylvan extends an arm in front of her, as if she's reaching for the city. It's her wrist with a bracelet on it, and a bead shines in the dark like another street lamp. Hooking my necklace, I hold it out alongside hers. The glow of my bead is about as bright as hers. Scoffing, Silver lowers her arm and I put my necklace back on. I wait for her to start talking instead of saying something myself. I find myself doing this a lot with Aspen and Julian as well, although here it's different. Only was Silver the one who came to me, but anything I say would probably be ignored anyway. Sure enough, it isn't long before she twirls around to point a finger in my face.
Listen up, because I'm only going to tell you this once.
That's one more time than I usually get. I just nod, signaling for her to continue.
I simply couldn't watch you continue to wallow in ignorance. Whereas your magic causes those you encounter to forget about you, mine assists me in a different way. It tells me the truth of things. To my eyes,
Oops, my bad.
their
That's all right.
emotions are as colors. Fear, like everything else, has its own glow. I've seen it ignite in my presence, at my command. In this way, I've survived. The betrayal of their hearts is twofold. They reveal unseen feelings that they try to mask with words. And the hearts of men are fickle besides. I've seen boredom turn to cruelty, fear become hatred. This is what I
Hatred
see,
becomes suffering.
and you
Suffering.
do not. The truth that lies behind all promises.
Oh no,
and
it's fear that turns to
pretenses.
anger. Anger turns to hatred.
Today's
Hatred leads to
friends are
suffering.
tomorrow's bitter foes.
Silver, you missed like one thing in between fear and hatred is anger.
You should know
Okay,
all
but
this.
tomorrow, yeah.
I know what it's like to be one of us. I know what you've lived through. And yet, even now...
She cuts herself off and scoffs. Or maybe is her choking something back.
What color is mine right now?
To give her an out, I ask a question instead. Her eyes narrow, but with concentration, not irritation, as I stand there. I match her gaze. This is the first time we've really spoken normally, instead of her trying to pick a fight or hide from me. Not the first to look away. She's the first to look away, speaking to the ground.
The color of young spring.
Ooh.
It's difficult to read the aura of our kind, requiring my concentration and focus. Even then, it's but a pale glow. With humans and most others, they cannot hide their light from me if they wanted to.
Like why you don't forget about me, right? Even though
He nods. I want to know what the colour means to her. I also want to know why she's choosing to tell me this, after judging everything else I've ever asked her. I'm sure she wouldn't tell me if I tried. But there is something else I do have to ask, because I'm pretty sure I already know the answer.
have you ever told anyone else?
Staring at the ground, it takes a long time before Silver shakes her head.
Thought so.
I don't think Silver's quite as old as I am, but she still spent decades on her own, if not longer, just like me. In all that time, any chances I might have to do something different or change something, I just let pass me by. I never had any idea what I might be missing. Beside me, Silver adjusts her masks and shifts her weight to a good leg. She's about to transform and probably run away. She had to have some reason for bringing me out here, right? Was she hoping I'd be the one to extend a hand? I think she'd get along with Aspen and Juliet, once she had some time to warm up to them. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be having this conversation with her right now. Before she can change, I suddenly reach over and put my hand on her shoulder. She stiffens and goes tense beneath my fingers, pulling away inconceivably fast, facing me from a few meters away. I don't need to be able to read auras to detect the anger emanating from her. There we go.
Don't destroy me. We're having a good time.
We're having a good time. That was dumb, even for me. I hold up my hands, trying to show that I won't do it again.
I just.
Just what? Wanted to help her? Saying that would definitely make her hate me. Instead, I clamp my jaw shut before I can make things worse. For a moment, her face softens and she looks torn. She dispels that by shaking her head.
We're even now.
Within seconds, she's a fox, and then she's part of the night, vanished into the darkness. This time, I don't even think about chasing her. Gotten upset. I would have gotten upset too if one of my friends had done that to me early on too, but I don't think she'll hold it against me. At least not any more than the rest of my existence. After all, I realise way too late. Her coming here in the first place was already her reaching out. And if there's one thing I know for sure, is that you can't rush these things.
I'm sorry. I hope I'll see you again soon.
Yell, but I don't whisper either. I'm pretty sure she's still close enough to be able to hear me. I've done about as much as I can. The rest is up to her. The first thing out of my mouth when I wake up is a sigh. Outside my window lurks a murky grey morning, which feels like an omen. It's chilly, and I'm tempted to stay under the warm covers, but I force myself up to get ready and then go to breakfast. Juliet and I chit-chat as we wait for Aspen to arrive, but she never does. By the time we finish eating, it seems pretty clear that Aspen won't be showing up.
She must still be asleep.
It was like the morning that Cello and her friends left. I'm guessing that Aspen's overslept. After Silver ran away last night, I was also kept awake with my thoughts for a while. I figured I'd be the last one to get to the kitchen. Aspen still has me beat, though. I try calling her, but it goes to voicemail. As soon as I hang up the phone, I return to my room. I put on my shoes and then leave the library, waving at Juliet when I pass by the dining room again. I'm sure she knew what I was going to do as soon as I did. Not too worried about Aspen, at least not any more than usual, for I have a feeling she could use support right now. I knock on Aspen's door and wait. Silence. I knock again and wait. I knock a third time, harder. Finally, I hear a sleepy voice from inside.
I'm coming.
Aspen. When the door finally opens, I'm relieved to see Aspen is alright. Or at least upright and unharmed. He definitely isn't doing great, though. Her hair is a mess, and she still has a blanket wrapped around her. As she stares at me, blinking in the morning sun, she groans and holds a hand to her head.
Miho? God, what time? Oh, come in.
I step inside gingerly, shutting the door behind myself. Inside it's dark, with the curtains drawn and all the lights off. Aspen immediately returns to her bed and lays down with another groan. As I walk towards the bed, my foot bumps against something on the floor. At first, I'm afraid it was one of the cats, but when I look down, it's actually an empty can. It rolls under the bed all the same. In fact, there are a few empty cans around. I pick one up. I don't recognize the label and can immediately identify its smell as beer.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Aspen!
No! Aspen, no!
Oh, I didn't think we'd go down a route of depression
Oh,
and binge
God.
drinking. Oh, okay. This took a turn.
Oh, Aspen, no. Never had any alcohol, but I know enough about it from just TV on my travels. I sit down on the bed beside Aspen, who's covered in face of a stuffed animal. Still, she managed to blindly fumble around with one hand until she finds and holds mine.
I'm late for breakfast, aren't I?
Yeah. I came to make sure you're okay.
He makes a sound that could be a pain or just acknowledgement.
Sorry, you should have called. You didn't have to walk all the way here.
We did.
I tried.
Her other hand appears in the darkness, also fumbling around until she finds her phone, which is under a pillow just like her.
Oops. I'm sorry. I slept right through it.
Looking around her room, I notice more than just beer cans. Her laptop is on the floor, half closed. Notebooks and papers were scattered around the room, not just on the desk, but everywhere. Last time I was here, her apartment was messy. Today it's a disaster.
It's okay. No big deal. I'm more worried about you than anything.
I'm fine. I'm fine. The only problem is I slept in so damn late. I was planning to call out of work anyway. I need the extra time to finish my edits. And I may have had a bit too much to drink last night, which I'm really paying for now.
I don't think you can call this fine.
Gently, I lift a plushie away from Aspen's face.
No!
Mood. Although she groans and makes grabby hands at it, she doesn't really try and stop me. Instead, she looks up at me with red-trimmed eyes and manages a smile. Gesturing me to come closer, I lean down and Aspen pulls me in to kiss her. Her hands linger on my cheek as I sit back up.
What if I said I was fine now?
No.
You are
Aspen.
definitely not
What
fine.
about you?
You are not fine, Aspen. Honey. Right, Aspen. Darling. Our love. You are not fine. Babes, why are we lying? Although she pretends to pout, Aspen doesn't try to deny it again. Since she's not in any shape to sit up, I lie down next to her instead. I can't help but notice the makeup stains on her pillow. Aspen.
This is 2 days in a row now that I've gotten to wake up next to you. More or less. That's something good at least.
You missed out on breakfast today, though.
I'll take that trade.
She closes her eyes, yawning.
But that's also 2 days in a row that I've overslept. I'd actually meant to get an early start today and work on my book a bit before going up to the library.
You were gonna get up early? When did you go to bed?
Aspen and I have already said goodnight to each other before Silver showed up at my window. And that was somewhere around midnight.
I don't remember. It's a little fuzzy, you know. I'm in the final stretch, though. I can afford to sacrifice a little sleep.
Maybe if it was just sleep. And just a...
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? Even Juliet can tell how exhausted you are all the time.
Even Juliet, Besides, it's only a couple more days. I have to finish and send it in by the end of Sunday, and then...
And then...
Then... everything can go back to normal. Like my sleep schedule. Then it'll be out of my hands and someone else's problem.
It's gonna be that easy? You'll just never have to think about your book again.
Well, no, of course, not like that. I hope not, at least. Unless the changes still aren't what they're looking for. But I don't even want to consider that. Oh God, I do not want to consider that. There'll be more work to do, of course. More writing and more editing. Hopefully not as much editing. I struggled a lot this time around because it was so different from the original manuscript and not the kind of thing I usually write. But once I got the hang of it, it started being easier. So I think next time around shouldn't be as difficult because I already know what they're looking for.
She has to stop and take a deep breath before continue talking.
That's not counting all the other stuff like paperwork and promotion and all that, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh, rights and licensing too. That's another thing to think about, but later. The first time I do all that might be tough, but it should also get easier, just like the editing. I've done a lot of research and...
Aspen.
It does
Aspen,
make sense,
babes.
given what the best-selling trends have been lately. Usually I'm more into...
You need to relax. You're drinking so much. Spend time with friends. I get it. Like I get it. I understand where she's coming from. That like she's stressing out and she's like working so hard. But at the same time, it's gonna be such a crash burnout. That and going off of what they're describing is that like she's had several cans of alcohol. Like she's just like either combining energy drinks, coffee, and alcohol, which is very not good to do. It's just like, please, girlie, take care of yourself.
Aspen.
With a tiny hic, she cuts off mid-sentence.
Okay, I know that sounds like a lot, but...
It is a lot. Babes, why are we lying?
You can't keep doing this to yourself.
I don't like interrupting her, but I know where this is going. You are self-sabotaging yourself. I don't want to see you do that. At my word, she does stop and gazes up the ceiling before speaking in a very small voice.
What else can I do, though? I know how hard it is to understand from the outside, but that's what it's like to be an artist. Opportunity rarely knocks twice, as they say. It could be years before I have another chance like this, if ever. Some things are worth persevering through. So what if I have to call out of work a couple times or miss some sleep? That won't matter in the long run. When there's a line of people waiting for a midnight release at the bookstore or posting fan fiction online, someday I'll forget all the bad stuff that happened or even look back and laugh. Someday it'll be worth it.
Someday?
Someday. She nods.
But who cares about someday when you're miserable now, love?
It feels strange to call her that, but also right. Just like when she said it to me, and it seems like it works. I feel her breath. I hear her breath catching her throat, and even as she turns to face me again, I can see the glimmer of tears in her eyes. More than ever, I wish I knew what to say that could help her. If Juliet was here, I'm sure she'd have some great advice to offer. It's hard for me to understand what it is she's going through. On the other hand, it's really easy to see how it's affecting her.
I know, I'm the last person who should tell someone how to spend their time. But it can't be worth feeling like this all the time, just so maybe someday it'll be better, right? Even if I don't know anything about writing or books or any of that, all of those next steps you talked about sound just as bad. You used to be so excited about your book, but now it just makes you sad all the time. If it would really get better after this weekend, that'd be one thing, but it wouldn't, would it?
Aspen slowly shakes her head. Tears silently rolls down her face onto her pillow and hair. I scoot closer that our foreheads are touching. Even then, I can barely hear her as she whispers.
I know. I know that you're right and it won't get easier, but I'm right too. All those things I said about maybe not getting another chance, or about how it's never easy for anyone, they're true as well. I wish it wasn't. I wish this wasn't my only choice because it's not even mine anymore. It's not my story or characters, it's something else. And I don't know what else to do. If my original story was any good, it wouldn't have been rejected so many times, or needed so many changes. And they're not bad changes either, they make sense, they're just not mine.
Aww.
Are you really okay with that?
For all about 2 seconds, she holds my gaze. Then Aspen truly bursts into tears. It might be her most honest answers yet. Her whole body shakes as she cries, and I do what I can to hold her. The 2 cats hop up onto the bed, concerned and investigating. Corners of my eyes burn too, not for myself, but for Aspen, and for the helplessness I feel. But also, I recall what Juliet says, and that is something that Aspen has to go through herself.
I don't know if I am. I don't know. I thought I was. Kept telling myself I was, but...
It's hard for her to speak in between sniffles and sobs. I just let her cry against me, doing what I can do. Be there for her. She doesn't need to finish a sentence anyway. We both already know the answer. I stroke her hair and try to think how to piece together what I want to say to her. It's tough, because I know I don't have anything that will be helpful or might solve a problem. All I can do is be honest.
I don't know the difference between good and bad writing, of course. I've only ever read one book. But I still really like that book. Enough to read it again and again yesterday. And the only reason I could even do that is because you and Juliet seem to like books so much that I had to try them too. Spending hours hunched over that desk, copying those letters a million times, I wouldn't have done that for just anyone, you know? I'm glad I did, though. It was worth it just to be able to read The Fox in the Grove, even though I already knew the story. That was something I never understood before. Why anyone would want to read a book more than once. You already know what's going to happen. But because it makes me think of you, and that you wrote it just for me to be able to read, I don't think I'll ever be able to like a book more.
Wiping her eyes, she manages a shaky sigh that might be a laugh.
Well, I can't complain about that kind of critical reception.
Her sobs have gone back to being sniffles and hiccups, and she's slowly able to catch her breath. The pillow that we share is soaked with tears. I'm gonna say tears. The 2 cats are still nearby, and she scoops them up and pulls them towards her as well. Her fur babies.
You guys are worried too, huh?
Yes, we're worried about you.
Yeah. Whoever says cats are arseholes, Jesus wept. They both meow in protest as Aspen brings them into our hug. There isn't really room, but Aspen manages to squeeze them in. They immediately hop away though, and she doesn't try to stop them.
Not too worried, I see.
We snuggle for a bit longer, and then for the first time since she's gone into bed, Aspen sits back up and rubs her eyes. Sit up too, and she casually leans against me as she looks around. It's a lot brighter now than it was when I got here, and through the curtains.
It is a bit of a mess here, isn't it?
A little bit. Yeah.
Reaches down and picks up one of the empty beer cans, examining it before tossing it into the recycling bin.
Tasted awful anyways.
Oof.
I didn't even know you like beer.
don't.
Then what? I guess you just wanted to feel something, which fine, I get that too.
Or
But
basically, or to like to try to go to sleep.
yeah, just
Another can is on Aspen's nightstand, and she chucks that into the bin as well before gathering some of the scattered papers around the apartment. I help clean, throwing away anything that looks like trash and organising anything that doesn't. Aspen takes care of all that, replacing a laptop on a desk and tidying some of the clutter. Finally, she opens the curtains and we sat back down. I wait for her to say something, since there still hasn't been any resolution. I don't have to wait very long.
I'm going to send an email to Avery and tell them I've changed my mind, and that I'm not interested in making the changes they wanted.
Wait, you've already decided that?
I'm happy to hear her decision, but I wasn't expecting it to come this fast.
I have to give them an answer soon, one way or another. To be honest, I was already thinking about it, and have been for days. In my heart, I think it's what I've wanted to say this whole time. But I kept telling myself that I should just try a little harder and power through. I could probably do that if I put my mind to it. But there was something you said earlier. And as soon as you said it, I knew you were right, because it was something I was trying not to admit to myself. That somewhere along the way, something I love had turned into something I dread. I pictured myself continuing down that path. If I lost that love forever, would it be worth it? It might be. It might not. There's no telling how it would go. But you're right that I have something to live for right now. And someone to love. And so I think maybe that much is enough. More than enough, even.
Aspen leads in and I do too, closing my eyes in anticipation. The relief that floods through me when I hear Aspen's words like a glass of water after a long run. Pausing just inches from my lips, Aspen whispers just one more thing before we kiss.
I have everything I need right here.
Aww. The two of us linger around Aspen's apartment for a while longer. I play with the cats while Aspen collects herself and eventually manages to send off her email.
I'll go from here.
Okay.
Around lunch. Whoop. Oh. Okay, well, apparently that button makes us go back a page.
Oh, wow. Okay, that is...
I don't know what button that was. I'm not going to try to risk anything in case we... You know what? We have not saved in a hot minute.
Please save. Please save.
Okay. Around lunchtime, we head to the Bell House for Aspen's midday shift.
Are you sure you want to go to work today? You said you were going to call out.
Thank you for the head bats.
It'll be nice to have the distraction. Sorry to leave you on your own there.
It's alright. I'll figure out something to do.
I study Aspen's face. Her eyes are still red and puffy, although her glasses help hide that. She still seems fragile, but I feel less worried about her than before.
See you tomorrow then?
Maybe. I might just need a day alone. Not that being with you doesn't help me feel better, but I just have a lot of thinking to do.
I understand. We
That's
can hang out
weird.
again when you're ready.
I'll see you on Halloween for sure.
Cool.
Aspen adjusts her glasses and removes her hat, preparing to go change into her uniform.
Well, I'm going to go clean myself up a bit before my shift starts. I can't let Lena see me like this.
You sure you'll be okay?
Yes, I have lots of practice at keeping myself together. That's all customer service really is.
Alright. See you later then.
Goodbye, Miho. I love you.
Love you too.
Aww.
After a final kiss, she goes inside to start her shift. It's been an emotional day already, and it's barely half over. Despite that, I feel optimistic as I walk away from the cafe. I'm still concerned about Aspen, but I know she'll be okay in the long run. There's a long road ahead, but things are looking up. Alright, back to the library. I think we're locked into Tommy's story now.
Ooh, okay.
Because we haven't seen the fisherman, and I forget what the other side story was. Wasn't there like a third side story?
I think it was just a fisherman.
Yeah. Oh,
And then, yeah, I think the side stories that we had was Tommy and Lena.
true. And we locked in on Tommy and Lena's stories.
Yeah.
I continue to see Tommy and his family fairly regularly. Of course, I hear from the three of them every day just to maintain their memories. It makes my daily check-ins take a little while, but that's okay. Gwen also comes to a library to study several times a week, sometimes by herself and sometimes with Tommy. When Elijah draws by to return the books he borrowed, he mentions that he wasn't able to learn much about Gerby like he'd hoped, but that he thinks Gerby comes from somewhere other than the underworld like I do. That would explain why it's harder to find information about him. It reminds me a bit of Aspen and Juliet, trying to find out more about my bead and my magic. At least in that case, there's Silver to help explain some things, at least grudgingly. As for Tommy, it seems like he's doing okay. I don't hear anything else about him getting into fights, for one thing. When he's at the library, he either looks for bugs or just reads a book at the table with his mom. Slowly but surely, the three of them, four if you count Gerby, have slipped into their own routine. I hope Elijah was right when he said that things between them will just have to get better with time. After eating breakfast with just Juliet, I figured out how to spend a day without Aspen. We had a quick video call this morning, where she says she still needs a day to herself to just unwind and think and cry. I wish that I could be there to comfort her, but I also understand why she needs to be alone for a while. Just learning that knows the hardest for herself, like Juliet said. I'll see her tomorrow, but I can't let today go to waste. Juliet finds me in the kitchen, looking out the back window.
Is something out there?
Nah. Just thinking about what I want to do today. Aspen's not feeling very good.
In the shade of the big tree in the backyard, there are a couple birds hopping around, looking for worms. Gives me an idea.
Could I go see that bird we rescued? The one your friend picked up.
You can certainly visit the preserve. Although I couldn't say if they'd be able to point you to our friend in particular. There are quite a lot of other birds who call it home.
That's fine. I can look for it on my own.
Of course. It's a bit of a walk, but there's a shuttle that can take you most of the way.
Juliet shows me where to find the shuttle, and I use my phone to guide me there. I don't have to wait long till it arrives and I climb on board. The driver takes us in the direction of the Bell House and Aspen's apartment. I've walked down these roads so many times that it feels strange to see them rush by out the windows, like I'm fast-forwarding through a TV show. At some point, we take a turn that I've never taken before, and soon we're going through areas that are new to me. I watch them go by, not paying enough attention to commit them to memory. Eventually, I stop and disembark. I take my first whiff of the clean air. I understand why it's preserved. As far as I can see, the land is covered in forest. Not just trees, but forest. Grown so thick it looks like a solid wall of green. The only exception is a river that winds through the hills, where the water is crystal clear and still. Nearby, the botanic gardens were lovely. This is something else. There is something more. I'm glad to have settled down now. Sound good?
Ooh. Yeah, I'm glad to have settled down.
It reminds me of my days in the wild, running free. Although those were good times, I prefer the simplicity and security of my daily life that I've established. I quietly pay for my ticket and then hurry out as fast as I can. I see why Juliet said they wouldn't be able to find my bird. There are a ton of places it could be. Doesn't mean I can't try. Maybe if I found the person who took the bird in and know what happened to it, I'd have better luck just to look for it myself, though. It's a big place. I decide too big for me to explore on my own. Look for Juliet's friend Amaya? I should have asked Juliet how to contact her before I left. I'm sure Juliet's asleep by now. Don't want to disturb her. Besides, it's not like I'm in a hurry. Take my time and try to see as much as I can. It's not crowded, but Preserve is far from empty too. Just as many fable as there are humans. Some I recognize, like a faun and a dryad. What if the trees make any of them feel like I do? Any of them have a story like I do? Come from someplace far away like I do? There are kids too. Human kids. There are teachers being led around by tour guides. Most of them look excited to be here. I hope maybe they can learn to love it as well. Ask some of the guides or instructors if they know who or where Amaya is. Some of them have no idea what I'm talking about. Some know her but not her location. Finally, I find someone who's able to point me in the right direction. I end up back near where I started, at the edge of the river. Sure enough, the lady from before is there, talking with another guest. I waited till they finished their conversation before I approach.
Excuse me.
Hi, how can I help you?
A few weeks ago, you picked up a hurt bird from my friend Juliet. I was wondering if you could tell me where it is now.
Oh, right. That poor guy. I'm afraid the little
Aw.
fella didn't make
No.
it.
No, it's
I
just
think
like
that when
that
he
one
took the
episode
tumble
in
that hurt
Bluey
his
about the
leg, He
budgie.
must have hurt something inside him, too.
Oh.
Oh.
It's dead. I hadn't even thought about that possibility. This whole time I just assumed it'd be alive. It had gotten better.
It's sad, but it's the way of nature sometimes. Mind if I ask how you were involved?
Naturally, she doesn't remember me being there.
I was the one who found it and brought it to Juliet's. I wasn't around when you picked it up, though.
Oh, right. Well, you can sleep easy and know that you did what you could.
She sounds so casual about it. I guess she's probably experienced this a lot. Meanwhile, I don't know what to say. I just stand there, surprised. It was just a bird, sure, but that's still something. For the bird, everything. Amaya starts to walk away, but before she can leave, there's something I want to know. Something I've never given much thought to before. But that my recent time with Silver has made me wonder about.
Hey, I have a question.
Shoot.
Do you believe in fate?
She stares at me in mild shock. A weird thing to ask, I know, but I hold her gaze and don't back down.
Now there's a question.
Looking past me at the water, she takes a deep breath and lets it out slowly.
If you're asking if I think there's a world out there where that bird survives or never gets hurt to begin with, then sure, maybe. I'm not smart enough to know, but it's not this one. Destiny, luck, whatever you want to call it. Life's unfair, that's a fact. It doesn't care about any one of us. Sometimes you can do everything right and it just isn't enough. I don't think that's destiny personally. That's just being alive. Being here, doing what I can to help who I can, that's just me playing my part in life. If that's because some invisible force led me, then it doesn't change anything. Bigger picture or not, it's what I choose to do with my time right now. And I choose to believe that makes a difference. Hope that helps.
Thanks.
Don't mention it. Say hi to Juliet for me, will you?
Yeah, no problem.
Once again, she starts to walk away, and this time I don't stop her. Instead, I walk out to the nearby gazebo and sit down, surrounded by quiet water. Even though her reasoning was totally different, I can't help but think about how Amaya pretty much said the same thing Silver did. Just a bird. It's just life. Silver who wanted to let it die, and Amaya who tried to help it live. I wonder how Silver would feel if she heard the news. I'm sure she'd pretend not to care, but she did follow me all the way back to the library just to see. On the other hand, Amaya didn't seem all that upset. I could tell she didn't know why it mattered to me. Like always, it's hard for me to answer that question myself. I know how nature works as well as either of them. I know better than to expect it to care. That doesn't mean I can't, though. Even if no one else sees it, that bird was still as alive as we were. Maybe it didn't read books or drink coffee or watch TV, but it still existed. It ate and flew and sang. The forest on Mount Victoria will be a little more quiet from now on, even if nobody notices. I want to be able to tell the difference myself. I know it's like that bird and I were friends. Still, whenever I go back, I'll think about it. I think about the tree that used to be its home, and nest that it'll never return to. Sighing, I stand up and start walking again. About how it turned out, still glad I came to this place. Still glad it exists. It might not be perfect, but it's doing the best it can. Okay, I think we pause it there.
Okay.
Very good
please.
good spot to stop. I'm curious. Let me go back to the title screen and see where we are.
How far did we get last time?
Okay, so 57%. So we're still like on good pace. But again, I don't know if this is
Yeah.
like 57% of like the story
Story.
or
I
like
don't know.
yeah, so I guess we'll find out when,
Hey.
when we get closer. But yeah,
Yeah.
I had a good time. Well, thank you, Heroynex, for reading along with me. Let me give you a quick shout out. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitch and you can find me on Blue Sky.
Hell yeah. And there we go. BDSP once again. Do I keep catching you like after a BDSP stream?
Yeah, I stream it on Tuesday with my boyfriend.
Gotcha. I know I've asked that
So
before. I feel bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so that's our what we call Teddy Tuesday. So that's our little date. Well, yeah, a date night, date evening. So we just stream. Well, he joins me in my stream, and we do like little co-op games.
Yeah. Alrighty. We're gonna raid over to Penny Stream. They are playing some Claire Obscure.
Ooh.
Hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day. I hope you have a good rest of your week as well, Heroynex.
Yeah, same to you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and I'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Alright, everyone. Hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day. Say hi to Penny for me. They are playing Claire Obscure, so be aware of any spoilers. We are going to be continuing our Claire Obscure stream this Friday. It'll be in the afternoon because we don't have Baldur's Gate 3 with the Cat Gang on Fridays. We will be doing Claire Obscure on Friday afternoons now for the time being. But yeah, so stay tuned for this afternoon. We will be doing a collab with a new person. Hope you guys are excited for that. We're going to be playing some Dead by Daylight. Hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day. And until next time, y'all, have a good one. Bye-bye.